What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CMA Podcast. How is everybody doing? Yes, this is exactly how I sound today. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to talk about, but I have a very, very sore throat. And I thought, you know what? Don't waste it. Get this sore throat and this husky low voice in front of a microphone, turn your camera on, and don't waste this glorious opportunity. I don't know why, but I don't know why this sounds better. You know, like Joe Rogan is one of the greatest podcaster of all time, in my opinion. But I don't know if you guys listen or watch anything to do with Barstool Sports or the podcast related to what they used to promote, which is called Call Her Daddy. But it's basically this sex podcast from Los Angeles, and it's huge. It's up there with Joe Rogan. I don't watch it. I've never watched an episode, but they're huge. It started off with these two girls just talking about their escapades in Los Angeles and what it's like as a single girl dating, hooking up, blah blah blah. They had a huge run-in with Barstool Sports and contractual disagreements and blah, blah, blah. But basically the story is they're huge. The Call Her Daddy podcast is now exclusive to Spotify and they're excelling. But everyone's like, the podcast scene is predominantly male, and it's because of a husky low voice when you talk into a microphone like this. And, you know, I guess the Call Her Daddy regime has taken over that, but I'm gonna try and get some of that action, you know, get in on the husky voice while I have it. Should I stay sick all year round? I don't know. But yeah, basically I've got nothing to talk about. I've got no cheat sheet today. The cheat sheet is like it's like a reserve. If you have a guest on and you don't know what type of mood they're in, if they're going to be talkative or not, you got to fill 30 minutes to an hour. And I normally just write out topics. I don't write out questions because I don't want it to be like a questions and answers kind of podcast, but I prefer the conversation, you know. But I don't know what the guest is going to be like at that time. So I have to write out like bullet points of what I want to discuss. And if the conversation's going good, I don't even touch the cheat sheet. Today I was like, what am I going to talk about? I've got nothing. I don't know. I just said, fuck it. Log on, get your coffee, and just talk. So here I am. Yeah, boxing this week outside. It's getting colder now. Obviously, it's not an ideal circumstance, but given the circumstances, being outside, able to train, we have a covered area we found in Lucerne, and it is working to our advantage. Recently, I've been made aware that people are upset that we haven't found a space yet. Those people just don't understand business and this new risk in business 2021. Let's say we get somewhere tomorrow and we're locked down or we're limited with capacity. Who's going to pay that rent? You know, some people just don't get that. We need to find a stipulation in the contract. We need to find, I'm way too high. There we go. We need to find something that works as in the circumstances of business. And as a business who are still operating, we're training outside. We are giving classes. You're welcome to attend those classes. You don't want to attend, you don't have to attend. But I heard some people are upset with us right now, and I don't give a fuck. Do you know why? Because we're doing our goddamn best to make it all work for everybody. So yeah, I was upset yesterday and the day before when I found out, but what are you going to do? You know, if people are that upset, I think they should go and set up their own gym and train there. But that's just me. But yeah, this voice has taken me by surprise. I guess it's from, I won't lie, I guess it's from boxing outside. It was very cold. But I you know, when you train outside, you sweat, it's good, but it's after, if you don't get wrapped up quick enough, you know, that moisture sinks into your skin. And I think that's what's happened. But, you know, you just got to stay warm. Drink your tea, drink your coffee, and stop complaining. And don't be a little bitch. You know what I mean? I do have something to say. Yeah, based on that. I'll try and do this as politically correct as possible. I put up a video on shorts on YouTube during the week, and the amount of hatred and backlash that I got, private messages, people who didn't have the balls or the courage to put it in the comments section, which would have actually helped us. But yeah, I put up a clip of a previous podcast that I did. I broke down the Rachel Ostovich versus Paige Van Zandt fight, and I made a comment and I put it up on our shorts. Check it out. I was basically just stating that women's MMA and the female fighters as individuals took a hit in their skill set when they started to become Instagram models. I think that's a fair statement. You know, get offline, go training, do what you got to do, be a killer. And there's evidence and data to confirm this. Once people on that side of the gender realm, because there's only two genders, decided to start posting pictures of their butts and their boobs, they started losing fights. And I just made a comment and I put up a short. Hey, get off Instagram. Stop trying to be a model. You're a fighter. You're a killer. Go fight. Go kill. Poor Johanna Jimczyk, the Polish former champion. She got a boob job and started posting her boobs on the Miami beach. And all of a sudden, she can't win a fight. So, there you go. But the amount of hatred that I got calling me anti-female and bringing in gender politics and social justice warrior crap. I'm like, well, no, it's my opinion on this, and this is what I think. So, misogynist. You're a misogynist. No, not true at all, but whatever. But yeah, so I got a bit of hatred this week, and it reassured me that as this podcast grows, so does my thick skin. That's what's got to happen when you're in the eye of the public and you're pushing content out there to people who don't truly know you. But what are you going to do? I am pleasantly surprised on how I'm able to talk and it not be so painful. Maybe I should start an OnlyFans CMA podcast after dark ASMR version. Probably not. You know. This is some good coffee, man. So we got some fights this weekend. We touched on them on the podcast during the week with Evo. Miesha Tate is fighting this week. I was a huge Miesha Tate fan, and her recent comments about Aspen Ladd's coach, I think I did this on another episode, it upset me because, you know, I think it was Miesha just using her platform to hash out a previous beef with some guy who's completely irrelevant to her fight style right now, and was just basically using that platform to suggest that this coach was abusive to his fighter, and his, you know, he was just getting the best out of his fighter, as a coach should do. So it was a very interesting take that she had, and again, I don't want to go down that road, but she's starting to become an Instagram model now again. She's starting to post provocative and, you know, risque pictures. And, you know, like, all right, that's cool. But, you know, I just see you as this fighter who is trying to come back after retirement. And, you know, I don't know. If I was her coach, I'd be like, hey, let's stay off Instagram for a few months and let's just focus on training. And then after, with the belt, do whatever you want, you know. But again, minor details, just an opinion from a guy with a microphone and a camera. Doesn't really fucking matter. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. There's not that much happening in the fight world right now. There's not much excitement in boxing. There's not that much excitement in UFC and MMA in general. There's a few here and there. I saw on a poster last night, and I didn't believe it, but it is true. Thriller Fight Club or Fight League or whatever they're called, Thriller. You know, they're really spending the money now. They have Frank Mir back fighting, and he's fighting some random dude. And just like I think the Affliction days back in the day, where they had Megadeth play live and have the fighters walk out to the live music, Metallica are going to be playing at Thriller. I think it's sometime in December. That's going to be a good one. My CMA podcast, alumni, how would you pronounce that? I don't know. Marcus Davis, he's fighting tomorrow night. He is back in the ring/cage. That's going to be a fun one. I think it's called Premier Fight League or Premier Fight Club or something like that. Yeah, I'm following his posts on social media. The guy looks like he is 25, training hard, not a shred of body fat on that guy. When I interviewed him, I don't know if he broke the news on our podcast, but I think there was talks of a fight back prior to the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, but they renegotiated. They rescheduled the fight night. And voila, he's fighting tomorrow night. I cannot wait to see that fight. Huge fan of Marcus Davis. I just realized that this podcast is actually going to post after that fight. So, future self, watch the fight. I don't know. I don't really have that much to say. Again, the reasons for coming on is a sore throat and the fact that it sounds so goddamn good. I don't know. Yeah, people were actually asking me, why are you going all out for this podcast? Why are you making such an effort? Because I enjoy it. It's so much fun. And I talked to a couple of big podcasters over the last couple of weeks, and they don't like, or they don't do the editing. And I fucking love the editing. It's like at the start, it was so tedious, but learning the craft, learning how to do it. And now I'd be in a position to outsource, not for this one, but for me to say, hey, you doing a podcast? You give it to me. I'll edit it for you. But, you know, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And it's weird for me to know that there's big podcasters out there not doing the editing. It's a strange one for me, but I don't know. I guess some people don't like doing it. But, yeah. I don't really have that much to say, guys. I apologize if this is boring. I want to just go back and touch on the effort that goes into a podcast. It's not the most professional setup that we've got here. I wish I could show you how I'm actually doing it, but I can't. But the vision, the goal is to get all of this stuff into a gym and to do the podcast in the ring, in the gym. That would be a pretty cool setup and a cool backdrop for anyone who doesn't know our plans. That's the plan. Get the podcast into the gym, do a podcast before training, maybe do some videos during training, and then a post training kind of like rundown of how tonight went, and like put that out like a couple of times a week. That'd be pretty sweet, I think. But yeah, without a mic, everything sounds like this, and it's not really professional and quite annoying. So you got to kick it back in, and that's basically what you sound like with a cool mic. But I've heard quite a few people ask me about the products that go into setting up a podcast, and it is not that hard at all. And you buy a mic, you buy a camera, you buy a laptop, you have everything you need ready to go. You can do it all with your phone. I know one podcaster that he does the videoing with one phone and the audio with voice notes on his phone here. This is turning into a rambling that I didn't think through when I turned on everything. But just to let you guys know that I really appreciate everything and everyone who has helped me get this off the ground. Sincere thanks to everybody who shares the posts on social media. To see my face and hear my voice on your pages, it's so uplifting and it's so encouraging. There's a handful of people that I thought over the last year would really help me mentally, not physically, mentally, with encouragement and guidance and motivation. And, the whole phrase of keep your circle small, I'm really starting to feel that now. And I don't think it's like a paranoia. I think it's life really showing true colors in life when the people that you thought were there for you and the closest to you and friends and, everybody can meet up with everyone for dinner and lunch and coffee and whatever the case may be, and a beer at the weekend, blah, blah, blah. But the people that you think are your friends turn out to not be, and not only don't show you encouragement, actually discourage and hold your head underwater and put the foot on the back of the neck, keeping you underwater. That happened to me not gonna say this month, but over the last 3 months. And they're like, I don't want to get too into it or too deep or name names, but it's really interesting. And I hope that you can and can't relate to this, because it's not the nicest thing to have ever happen. But keeping your circle small is not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. But you find out who's your friend when you ask for help. And the only help I need with this podcast, which I have seen circle back over the last week with the feedback I've got, is phenomenal. People sharing the posts. I put up a post during the week where it was, hey guys, we just need help doing this. So I didn't understand how YouTube worked. Algorithms and, all that. We hear a podcaster go, like, share, subscribe, rate, review. I just thought it was like an annoying thing that you need to do. But in order for my videos to be seen by people who don't just subscribe to me or don't just look out for me, in order for YouTube to say, okay, this guy needs to be pushed in all these directions, there has to be traction. And all I need for someone to get traction is by hitting the like button or making a comment saying, hey, great podcast, or Dave, stop talking about this, or explore the idea that there are more than two genders, even though that is complete and utter horseshit. But that's what pushes a YouTube channel and YouTube videos. Checking out someone's shorts on the page is actually so big for YouTube right now. So everybody who's checked out my videos, everybody who has shared my posts, everybody who has liked or hit the subscribe button or told a friend to, hey, check out Dave's podcast with Evo, CMA podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, because we go across visual and audio platforms because they're just that damn good. But anybody who has shown any effort in assisting to push this for me, I raise my coffee to you, because it's not easy when the content isn't to your liking. This is essentially fight related, gym related, and I try and push other topics and music in there too. But I think what I should have done today is set up and try to do more of an appreciation podcast for those who are willing to help and willing to assist. I'm not asking for your money. That's my business with my efforts to go get this thing sponsored and to get like affiliated companies to do that. All this content's free for you guys. But the only way I get this content pushed is with interaction. So you've no idea when I see someone with a comment or a like, it's like, thank you, man. Perfect. Even if the feedback's negative or constructive at the very least, that's basically helping me. You've no idea. It's amazing. I won't rant anymore because I think I'm going to go down a couple of dark roads if I do. But yeah, life is good, man. I don't want you to think that I'm negative about any of this, but the point I was trying to make earlier is there are people in your life that you think you can trust and that you think are going to be there for you when you need them, but they're not. Fuck it. You know what I mean? But here we are. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your ears, your eyeballs. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate you commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, telling a friend, hey, check out this episode. It's Dave with a husky voice talking shit for 20 odd minutes. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about next week. I have a couple of cool guests lined up, a couple of surprises in the pipeline over the next month. So we'll see. And any members or former members of CMA, City Martial Arts, the gym, who want to come training with us, hey, get your boxing gloves, get your mouthpiece, and get your butt to the gym. We are training outside. We are offering classes. I don't want to hear any more of this. When are you starting up classes again? Horse shit. Because we've been training since the pandemic began outside. You crazy bastards with your false assertions. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate everything sincerely. And if you have any feedback, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my very best to accommodate you guys. I've said thank you and I'll say it again. Thank you very much.